your yellow lawn may be sending the wrong message. Most homeowners see fading grass, assume it's thirsty, and reach for the sprinkler. Days later, the lawn still looks pale, the water bill is higher, and nothing has improved. That's because yellow grass isn't always caused by a lack of water. In many cases, an inexpensive $2 pharmacy powder can address a completely different problem that extra watering never will. Before we reveal what it is, tell us where you're watching from and subscribe for more science-backed lawn care tips. Let's uncover what's really turning your lawn yellow before you waste another drop of water. Picture two neighbors watering their lawns on the same summer morning. By the end of the week, one yard has started turning green again, while the other looks even more yellow. Both received plenty of water, yet the results couldn't be more different. The difference wasn't the sprinkler. It was the problem hiding beneath the grass. Many homeowners assume yellow grass always means the soil is dry. That assumption makes sense because drought can cause discoloration. However, grass changes color whenever its normal growth is interrupted, and several completely different problems can produce the same yellow appearance. Looking at color alone rarely tells you which one you're dealing with. Imagine squeezing a soaked kitchen sponge. Even though it's full of water, air has very little room to move through it. The same thing happens in heavily watered soil. Grass roots need oxygen as much as moisture. When the ground stays saturated for long periods, the roots struggle to function properly, and healthy green growth begins to slow. Heat creates another source of confusion. During prolonged hot weather, many cool-season grasses naturally reduce their growth to conserve energy. Their color may fade even when watering has been perfectly adequate. Adding more water can't remove heat stress if high temperatures remain the real challenge. Conditions below the surface often tell the bigger story. Compacted soil limits the movement of air, water, and nutrients around the roots. A lawn can receive regular watering, yet the roots still struggle because they can't access what they need efficiently. From above, the grass simply appears yellow, making it easy to blame the wrong cause. Nutrient shortages can produce similar symptoms. Grass depends on several minerals to maintain its healthy green color. When one becomes limited, chlorophyll production slows, and the lawn gradually loses its vibrant appearance even though moisture levels are perfectly acceptable. This is why guessing becomes expensive. More watering increases the water bill without solving the real issue, while the actual cause continues affecting the lawn. A few minutes spent identifying the reason behind the yellowing usually saves far more time and money than repeating the same solution over and over. Once you stop treating every yellow lawn as a watering problem, one important question naturally follows. If water isn't always the answer, why does an inexpensive pharmacy powder help certain lawns recover? The explanation begins inside each blade of grass. If yellow grass isn't always asking for more water, what is it missing? The answer depends on what's happening inside the plant, rather than what you see from the sidewalk. Grass stays green because millions of tiny cells continuously produce chlorophyll, the pigment responsible for capturing sunlight and powering healthy growth. When that process slows, the color changes long before the lawn completely declines. This is where the $2 pharmacy powder Epsom salt saltens the picture. Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate, a naturally occurring mineral compound. Unlike traditional lawn fertilizers, which mainly supply nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, Epsom salt provides magnesium and sulfur. These nutrients don't replace a complete feeding program, but they can support normal plant function when the lawn is genuinely lacking them. Think of chlorophyll as a solar panel. Every blade of grass depends on it to capture sunlight and convert that energy into the sugars needed for growth and repair. Magnesium sits at the very center of every chlorophyll molecule, making it an essential part of that energy-producing system. When magnesium becomes limited, the plant struggles to maintain efficient photosynthesis, and the rich green color gradually begins to fade. Sulfur supports a different part of the process. It helps plants build important proteins and activate natural biological functions involved in healthy development. Those processes strengthen new growth and improve the plant's ability to use available nutrients more effectively. Together, magnesium and sulfur help the lawn perform the work it was already designed to do. That explains why results aren't identical in every yard. A lawn suffering from magnesium deficiency may respond noticeably once that missing nutrient becomes available. Another lawn showing yellow grass because of fungal disease. Root damage or severe nitrogen deficiency won't improve for the same reason, because an entirely different problem is preventing healthy growth. The science is surprisingly straightforward. Epsom salt doesn't force grass to become green. It simply removes one possible limitation when magnesium deficiency is the real cause. Once that obstacle is removed, the plant can return to its normal biological processes, allowing healthier new growth to develop over time. Knowing why the pharmacy powder works is only half the story. The next step follows one homeowner from mixing the solution to watching the lawn change over the next 2 weeks, showing exactly how proper application influences the final result. Let's follow a simple example. Imagine you've identified several yellow patches that aren't improving, even after regular watering. The soil isn't bone dry, there's no obvious sign of disease, and the grass still feels firmly rooted. Those clues suggest it's worth trying the Epsom salt treatment instead of reaching for the sprinkler again. Preparation begins before anything touches the lawn. Mix 1 cup of Epsom salt into the recommended amount of water and stir until the crystals dissolve completely. A clear solution spreads more evenly, helping every treated area receive the same concentration instead of leaving undissolved granules in one spot. Now consider the weather. A cool, calm morning provides far better conditions than a hot afternoon. Lower temperatures reduce evaporation, while light wind helps the solution stay where it's needed rather than drifting onto nearby plants or hard surfaces. As the application begins, focus only on the affected areas. Blanketing the entire lawn isn't usually necessary when yellowing appears in isolated patches. Treating only the problem areas makes it easier to monitor progress and avoids applying nutrients where healthy grass doesn't need them. Over the next few days, resist the temptation to judge the results too quickly. The existing yellow blades may not suddenly become dark green because damaged tissue doesn't instantly rebuild itself. Instead, pay attention to the fresh growth emerging after the application. New blades with a healthier color are often the earliest indication that the grass is responding positively. The following week tells a more complete story. If magnesium deficiency was limiting healthy growth, the treated patches should begin blending more naturally with the surrounding lawn. Improvement usually appears gradually rather than all at once, making steady progress a better sign than dramatic overnight change. Throughout that period, continue caring for the lawn as you normally would. Maintain sensible watering, avoid cutting the grass excessively short, and reduce unnecessary foot traffic across recovering areas. These everyday habits create a stable environment while the grass rebuilds naturally. By the end of 2 weeks, you'll have a much clearer picture of whether the treatment matched the problem. A healthier color and stronger new growth suggest you're moving in the right direction. If little has changed, the yellowing is likely being caused by something other than magnesium deficiency. Recognizing that difference is what separates successful lawn care from trial and error. In the next section, you'll discover exactly which types of yellow lawns respond best to this method and which ones require a completely different solution. Imagine 3 homeowners standing in front of 3 different yellow lawns. From a distance, every yard appears to have the same problem. Up close, each one is struggling for a completely different reason. Choosing the same treatment for all 3 would leave at least 2 of them disappointed. The first lawn has a hidden magnesium deficiency. The grass is still alive, the roots remain healthy, and the yellowing developed gradually instead of appearing overnight. Under these conditions, Epsom salt has the greatest opportunity to help because it supplies a nutrient the plant may genuinely be missing. As healthy growth resumes, new blades often emerge with a stronger green color. The second lawn tells a different story. Several days of intense summer heat have slowed growth, leaving the grass faded rather than seriously damaged. Once temperatures become more comfortable, the lawn naturally begins recovering. If magnesium levels are also limiting plant function, the additional nutrient may support that recovery, allowing the grass to regain color more efficiently. Now consider a newly established lawn. Young grass spends much of its energy building roots before producing thick top growth. During this stage, even a modest nutrient imbalance can become more noticeable than it would in a mature lawn. Correcting a genuine magnesium shortage may help new grass develop a healthier appearance as the root system continues expanding. The fourth lawn needs an entirely different solution. Yellowing caused by fungal disease Insect damage, severe nitrogen deficiency, poor drainage, or damaged roots won't improve simply because extra magnesium has been added. Those problems interrupt healthy growth in different ways, making accurate diagnosis far more important than repeating another application. Shade creates another situation worth recognizing. Grass growing beneath large trees or beside tall buildings receives less sunlight throughout the day. Since photosynthesis depends on light, improving sun exposure often has a greater impact than adding any supplement. Without enough light, even a well-nourished lawn struggles to maintain deep green color. The most reliable indicator is the lawn's response over time. Healthy new growth, stronger color, and gradual improvement suggest you've matched the treatment to the problem. Little or no change points toward another underlying cause that deserves closer investigation. Even when you've selected the right treatment for the right lawn, a few everyday habits can quietly slow recovery. Before you decide the method worked or didn't, the next section reveals the common mistakes that prevent yellow grass from returning to its healthiest green. A homeowner treats several yellow patches with Epsom salt, follows the mixing instructions carefully, and waits for the lawn to recover. A week later, the color hasn't improved as much as expected. The treatment is often blamed first, yet the real reason usually appears somewhere else in the lawn care routine. Start by looking at what happened before the application. If the original problem was fungal disease, insect activity, or severe nitrogen deficiency, magnesium was never the missing piece. The lawn continues struggling because the underlying cause hasn't changed. Matching the treatment to the correct problem always matters more than repeating the same application. The following days deserve just as much attention. Some homeowners stop watering completely, believing the lawn should recover on its own. Others begin watering much more frequently, hoping extra moisture will speed up the process. Neither extreme helps stress grass. Consistent watering that keeps the soil evenly moist gives recovering roots a far better environment than constantly changing moisture levels. Another habit often goes unnoticed until it becomes a setback. Cutting the grass extremely short removes a large portion of the leaf surface responsible for capturing sunlight. With less green tissue available, the plant has fewer resources to support fresh growth. Maintaining the recommended mowing height allows the lawn to keep producing energy while the damaged areas recover naturally. Conditions beneath the surface also influence the outcome. Compacted soil restricts the movement of air, water, and nutrients around the roots. Even when the right treatment has been applied, recovery slows if the root zone remains under constant stress. Improving soil structure over time creates healthier conditions that support lasting growth. Time is another factor many people underestimate. Grass repairs itself through new growth, not instant color changes. Expecting dramatic improvement after only a few days often leads homeowners to abandon a method before the lawn has had a realistic opportunity to respond. Watching steady progress over several weeks provides a much more accurate picture. Imagine returning to the same lawn a month later. Instead of isolated yellow patches spreading across the yard, fresh green growth has gradually filled the thin areas because every part of the recovery process worked together. The treatment addressed the nutrient issue, while proper watering, sensible mowing, and healthy soil allowed the lawn to rebuild without unnecessary setbacks. Bringing back green color is only the beginning. The final section shows how a few long-term habits help your lawn stay healthier, stronger, and far less likely to turn yellow again. A healthy lawn doesn't stay green because of one successful treatment. It stays green because each week builds on the one before it. Once the yellow patches begin fading, the goal shifts from fixing a problem to creating conditions where that problem is far less likely to return. Think about how a strong lawn develops over an entire season rather than a single weekend. Every deep watering encourages roots to grow farther into the soil, giving them access to moisture long after the surface has dried. A shallow root system depends on frequent watering, while a deeper one remains more resilient during hot, dry weather. That difference often determines how well a lawn handles summer stress. The mowing routine influences more than appearance. Grass cut at the recommended height shades the soil naturally, helping it retain moisture and reducing unnecessary heat around the roots. Taller, healthier blades also capture more sunlight, allowing the lawn to produce the energy needed for steady growth throughout the growing season. Seasonal feeding completes the foundation. Primary nutrients supplied at the right time support continuous development, while secondary nutrients become valuable only when the lawn genuinely needs them. Matching the treatment to the plant's condition creates healthier growth than relying on one product for every situation. Pay attention to small changes before they become large repairs. A few pale blades, slower growth, or isolated yellow spots usually appear long before significant damage spreads across the yard. Catching those early signals gives you time to investigate the cause and respond while the lawn is still easy to restore. Healthy soil deserves ongoing attention as well. Occasional aeration, responsible watering, and avoiding unnecessary compaction create an environment where roots continue expanding year after year. As the root system becomes stronger, the entire lawn becomes better equipped to handle heat, foot traffic, and changing weather without losing its color. Imagine looking across your lawn at the end of the season. Instead of seeing scattered yellow patches that demand another weekend project, you notice even color, thicker turf, and stronger growth from one side of the yard to the other. That transformation isn't the result of luck. It's the outcome of understanding the real cause of yellow grass, choosing the right solution when it's needed, and following simple habits that keep the lawn healthy long after today's treatment. One mowing habit quietly determines whether your lawn keeps its rich green color or starts turning yellow again, and most homeowners repeat the same mistake every week. Watch the next video to discover the simple adjustment that helps grass stay greener, healthier, and more resilient all season long.